The vast emptiness of space stretched out before Dr. Ava Reeves as she gazed through the reinforced glass of the observation deck. Celestia Research Station, her home for the past 3 years, hung silently in orbit around a distant, unnamed planet. The isolation had never bothered her before, but tonight something felt different. A proximity alarm blared through the station's corridors, startling Ava from her reverie. She rushed to the control room, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. As the chief xenobiologist on the station, any potential alien contact fell under her jurisdiction. "What's the situation?" Ava asked as she burst into the room. Dr. Marcus Flynn, the station's astrodynamicist, looked up from his console with wide eyes. "We've got an unidentified object on a collision course with the station. It's small, possibly a shuttle or escape pod." Ava leaned over his shoulder, studying the rapidly approaching blip on the screen. "Have you tried hailing it?" Marcus shook his head. No response. "Whatever it is, it's coming in hot." The object streaked past the observation windows, a blur of scorched metal and trailing plasma. It impacted the station's outer hull with a resounding clang that echoed through the structure. "Damage report," Ava called out. "Minimal," replied Dr. Sasha Novak, the station's engineer. "The object is lodged in the external airlock of Docking Bay 3. We're lucky it didn't puncture the hull." Ava's mind raced with possibilities. "I'm going to investigate. Sasha, meet me at Docking Bay 3 with a containment suit. Marcus, monitor all communications channels for any distress signals." As Ava made her way through the station's winding corridors, she couldn't shake the feeling that this moment would change everything. Years of studying alien microbiology had prepared her for this, or so she hoped. Sasha was waiting at the airlock with 2 containment suits. They suited up in silence, the gravity of the situation weighing heavily on both of them. "Ready?" Sasha asked, her voice slightly muffled by the suit's comm system. Ava nodded, and together they cycled through the airlock. The object that had collided with the station was indeed a small spacecraft, its sleek design unlike anything Ava had ever seen. It was roughly cylindrical, with an iridescent surface that seemed to shimmer and shift colors even in the dim light of the airlock. "Incredible," Ava breathed, reaching out to touch the craft's hull. It was cool to the touch, despite the heat of re-entry it must have endured. Suddenly, a section of the craft's hull rippled and parted, revealing a dark interior. Ava and Sasha stumbled back, startled by the unexpected movement. "Hello," Ava called out, her scientific curiosity overriding her caution. "We're here to help." A figure emerged from the craft, and Ava's breath caught in her throat. The alien before her was humanoid in shape, but that's where the similarities ended. Its skin was a pale, luminescent blue, with intricate patterns that pulsed with an inner light. 3 large, almond-shaped eyes blinked at them, and instead of hair, a crown of delicate, feather-like appendages adorned its head. The alien opened its mouth to speak, but instead of words, a series of melodic chirps and whistles filled the air. It swayed unsteadily, and Ava noticed a dark, viscous liquid seeping from a wound on its side. "It's injured," Ava said, moving forward to help. The alien's eyes widened, and it chirped again, this time in what sounded like distress. "Easy," Ava soothed, holding up her hands in a universal gesture of peace. "We want to help you." The alien seemed to understand, or at least sense Ava's intentions. It relaxed slightly, allowing Ava to approach and examine the wound. "Sasha, we need to get it to the med bay," Ava said, her mind already racing with the implications of this encounter. "Can you help me support it?" Together, they carefully guided the alien through the airlock and into the station proper. As they made their way to the med bay, Ava couldn't help but marvel at the being beside her. Its very existence challenged everything she thought she knew about life in the universe. In the med bay, Ava worked quickly to assess the alien's injuries. The wound on its side was unlike anything she had ever seen, pulsing with an eerie bioluminescent glow. "I'm Dr. Ava Reeves," she said slowly, pointing to herself. Then she gestured to the alien. "Do you have a name?" The alien tilted its head, considering for a moment. Then, in a voice that sounded like wind chimes in a gentle breeze, it spoke. "Crix," it said, the words somehow both alien and familiar at the same time. Ava smiled, feeling a connection forming despite the vast differences between them. "Crix," she repeated. "Welcome to Celestia Research Station. We're going to take care of you." As she began to treat Crix's wound, Ava's mind whirled with questions. Where had Crix come from? Why was it alone in that small craft? And most importantly, what would this encounter mean for humanity's understanding of the universe? Little did Ava know that this moment, this chance meeting between two vastly different species, would set in motion a chain of events that would challenge the very foundations of human society and redefine humanity's place among the stars. Days turned into weeks as Ava worked tirelessly to understand Crix's unique physiology and treat the alien's mysterious wound. The research station buzzed with excitement, its small crew of scientists captivated by their extraterrestrial guest. Ava spent countless hours in the med bay, analyzing tissue samples and poring over data. Crix watched her with curiosity, those three mesmerizing eyes following her every move. "Your biology is fascinating," Ava murmured, more to herself than to Crix. She was examining a holographic display of Crix's cellular structure, marveling at its complexity. "I've never seen anything like it." Crix tilted their head, feather-like appendages rippling with an iridescent sheen. "Fascinating," they repeated, the word lilting and musical in their alien voice. Over the past weeks, Crix had begun to grasp basic English, though complex communication remained a challenge. Ava smiled, still amazed by Crix's rapid learning ability. "Yes, fascinating. Your cells appear to have properties of both organic and crystalline structures. It's incredible." As she worked, Ava felt Crix's gaze on her. She looked up to find all three of the alien's eyes focused intently on her face. "Is something wrong?" she asked. Crix made a soft trilling sound that Ava had come to associate with curiosity. "You, different," Crix said haltingly. "Not like Crix. Why?" Ava paused, considering how to explain the concept of different species to someone from another world. "Well," she began, "I'm human. Well, we don't have a name for your species yet. We come from different planets, different evolutionary paths." Crix's head feathers rippled again, this time in a pattern Ava recognized as confusion. "Different planets." Ava nodded, an idea forming. "Come with me," she said, offering her hand to Crix. The alien hesitated for a moment before taking it, their smooth, cool skin a stark contrast to Ava's warm touch. She led Crix to the observation deck, the same place where she had stood alone just weeks ago. Now, with her alien companion beside her, the vastness of space seemed less daunting and more full of possibility. "Look," Ava said, gesturing to the starfield before them. "Each of those points of light is a star, and many of them have planets orbiting them. I come from a planet called Earth, which orbits a star we call the Sun." She pointed to a particularly bright star. "That's the Sun, though it looks small from here because we're so far away." Crix stared out at the cosmos, their eyes widening in what Ava interpreted as awe. "Crix, not from there," they said softly. "No," Ava agreed. "You're from somewhere else. Can you show me?" Crix scanned the starfield for a long moment before pointing to a faint, bluish star in a distant corner. "There, home." Ava felt a thrill run through her. This was groundbreaking, first contact with an alien species, and now the location of their home world. "What's it like?" she asked, her scientific curiosity burning. Crix's feathers rippled in a complex pattern Ava hadn't seen before. "Beautiful," they said, their voice tinged with what sounded like longing. "Oceans of light, forests that sing, cities that float." As Crix described their world, Ava found herself captivated. She could almost see the bioluminescent oceans, hear the melodic forests, feel the wonder of floating cities. It was a world beyond her wildest imagination. "Why did you leave?" Ava asked gently, sensing a deep sadness in Crix. Crix's feathers drooped, their luminescent skin dimming slightly. "Danger," they said. "Great danger. Had to warn." Ava frowned, concern creeping into her voice. "Warn who? About what danger?" Before Crix could answer, an alarm blared through the station. Marcus's voice came over the intercom, tense and urgent. "Ava, we're picking up an unknown ship on long-range sensors. It's on an intercept course." Ava's heart raced. She looked at Crix, whose feathers were now standing on end, vibrating with what she recognized as fear. "Is this the danger you were talking about?" she asked. Crix nodded, their three eyes wide with terror. "They come. Must hide. Must protect." "Protect what?" Ava pressed, but Crix only shook their head, making a series of rapid clicks and whistles that the universal translator couldn't decipher. Ava made a quick decision. Whatever was coming, whatever danger Crix was fleeing, she couldn't let it threaten her new friend or the incredible knowledge they represented. "Come on," she said, taking Crix's hand again. "We need to get you somewhere safe." As they hurried through the station's corridors, Ava's mind raced. She had thought first contact would be the greatest challenge of her career, but now she faced something far more daunting. An unknown threat was bearing down on them, and she was responsible not just for the safety of her crew, but for protecting a being from another world, a being who might hold secrets that could change the course of human history. Ava glanced at Crix, seeing the fear and trust mingled in those alien eyes. In that moment, she made a silent vow. Whatever came next, whatever challenges they faced, she would do everything in her power to keep Crix safe and uncover the truth behind their mysterious journey across the stars. Little did Ava know that this decision would plunge her into a galactic conflict beyond her wildest dreams, testing the limits of her scientific knowledge, her courage, and her understanding of what it truly means to be human. The following days on Celestia Research Station were tense. The unknown ship had taken up orbit around the planet below, maintaining radio silence despite repeated hails from Marcus. Ava had moved Crix to a secure section of the station, converting an unused storage room into a makeshift living quarters and laboratory. "We need to understand what's going on," Ava said, pacing the small room. Crix sat on a hastily assembled cot, watching her with those mesmerizing triocular eyes. "You said you came to warn us." "Warn us about what?" Crix's feathers rippled in a pattern Ava now recognized as distress. "Difficult. Explain," Crix said haltingly. "Danger. In Crix." Ava frowned. "In you? You mean your wound?" Crix nodded, then gestured to the biosamples Ava had been studying. "Not wound. Evolution." Ava's scientific curiosity piqued. She moved to the holographic display, pulling up Crix's cellular structure. "Evolution. You mean your cells are changing?" "Yes," Crix confirmed. "Change. Fast. Dangerous." Ava studied the display, her eyes widening as she noticed something she'd missed before. Crix's cells weren't just unique, they were actively mutating at an astonishing rate. "This is incredible," she breathed. "Your genetic structure is rewriting itself in real time. But why is that dangerous?" Crix made a low, mournful trill. "Change. Unpredictable. Sometimes good. Sometimes," they trailed off, their luminescent skin dimming. "Sometimes bad," Ava finished, understanding dawning. "And the ones chasing you, they want to control this process." Crix nodded vigorously. "Use as weapon. Change others. Control evolution." The implications hit Ava like a physical blow. The ability to control evolution itself, it was power beyond imagining, and potentially catastrophic in the wrong hands. "We can't let them have you," she said firmly. Just then, Sasha's voice came over the intercom. "Ava, you need to see this. We're picking up some strange readings from the planet's surface." Ava glanced at Crix, who nodded encouragingly. "Go," the alien said. "Crix safe here." Reluctantly, Ava made her way to the control room. Sasha and Marcus were huddled around a console, their faces etched with concern. "What's going on?" Ava asked. Marcus pointed to a display showing the planet below. "We're detecting massive energy fluctuations across the planet's surface. It started about an hour ago, and it's been intensifying ever since." Ava leaned in, studying the readings. The energy patterns were like nothing she'd ever seen before, pulsing and shifting in complex, almost organic patterns. Then it hit her. "It's the same," she whispered. "The same as what?" Sasha asked. "The same as Crix's cellular structure," Ava explained, her mind racing. "The energy patterns, they're identical to the mutations I've been observing in Crix's cells." Marcus and Sasha exchanged worried glances. "What does that mean?" Marcus asked. Before Ava could answer, alarms blared throughout the station. "Multiple objects launching from the surface," Sasha reported, her fingers flying over the controls. They're heading for the unknown ship." They watched in stunned silence as dozens of energy signatures rose from the planet, swarming around the alien vessel. The ship's shields flared once, twice, and then failed. In a matter of moments, it was enveloped in a cocoon of pulsing energy. "It's changing them," Ava realized, her voice barely above a whisper. "The planet, it's alive, and it's evolving the ship and everyone on it." As if in response to her words, the energy cocoon dissipated, revealing the alien ship. But it was transformed. Where once there had been cold, angular metal, there was now an organic, almost living structure. It pulsed with the same bioluminescence as Crix's skin. "We need to get out of here," Marcus said, already moving towards the evacuation protocols. "If that ship decides we're next." "No," Ava interrupted. "We can't leave. This could be the greatest scientific discovery in human history. And Crix might be the key to understanding it all." Sasha looked at her incredulously. "Ava, this is insane. We're not equipped to deal with this kind of situation." Ava stood firm. "Maybe not, but we're scientists. We observe, we learn, we adapt. That's what humans do. And right now, we might be the only ones standing between this discovery and those who would use it as a weapon." For a long moment, nobody spoke. Then slowly Marcus nodded. "You're right," he said. "If we leave now, we might never get another chance to understand this." Sasha sighed but nodded her agreement. "So what's the plan?" Ava took a deep breath, feeling the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. "We study. We learn everything we can about what's happening on that planet and to that ship. And we protect Crix. Whatever's going on, they're at the center of it." As her colleagues set to work, Ava cast one last glance at the transformed ship on the display. She couldn't shake the feeling that they were standing on the precipice of something monumental, a discovery that could reshape their understanding of life itself. But with that excitement came a deep undercurrent of fear, because if they were wrong, if they couldn't control or understand this evolutionary force, they might just be witnesses to the next stage of cosmic evolution, and humanity, for all its achievements, might find itself obsolete in the blink of a cosmic eye. With determination in her steps, Ava headed back to Crix. They had work to do, and the fate of 2 species, maybe more, hung in the balance. The days that followed were a blur of frantic research and mounting tension. Ava and her team worked around the clock, studying the transformed ship and the strange energy emanating from the planet below. Crix provided invaluable insights, their unique perspective helping the humans grasp concepts that stretched the boundaries of known science. "It's like the planet is a giant, living computer," Ava mused, staring at the holographic display of the energy patterns. "And the code it's running is evolution itself." Crix trilled softly, their feathers shimmering with excitement. "Yes, planet, ancestor. All life connected." Ava's mind reeled at the implications. "You mean this planet might be the origin point for all life in this sector of the galaxy, including your species?" Before Crix could answer, Alarms blared throughout the station. Marcus's voice came over the intercom, tight with stress. "Ava, we've got company. 3 ships just dropped out of FTL. They're hailing us." Ava's heart raced as she rushed to the control room, Crix close behind. On the main screen, a stern-faced human in a crisp military uniform glared at them. "This is Admiral Vance of the Earth Defense Fleet," the man said, his voice clipped and authoritative. "You are harboring a dangerous alien fugitive. Surrender it immediately or face the consequences." Ava stepped forward, her voice steady despite her fear. "Admiral, I'm Dr. Ava Reeves, Chief Xenobiologist of this station. There's been a misunderstanding. We're conducting vital research here that could revolutionize our understanding of life itself." The Admiral's expression hardened. "Dr. Reeves, you are meddling in affairs beyond your comprehension. That research of yours could spell the end of humanity as we know it. Surrender the alien now. This is your final warning." The transmission cut off, leaving the control room in stunned silence. Ava turned to her team, seeing the fear and uncertainty in their eyes. Then she looked at Crix, who met her gaze with a mix of trust and resolve. "We can't let them take you," Ava said firmly. "Whatever's happening here, it's too important to fall into the hands of those who don't understand it." Sasha spoke up, her voice trembling slightly. "But Ava, how can we fight against 3 military ships? We're just scientists." A slow smile spread across Ava's face. "With scientists on a station orbiting a planet that can rewrite the laws of evolution, I'd say that gives us a pretty significant advantage." Understanding dawned on her colleagues' faces. Marcus grinned, already turning to his console. "I'll start recalibrating our sensors to mimic the planet's energy signature." "I'll modify our shield emitters," Sasha added, her earlier fear replaced by determination. Ava nodded, feeling a surge of pride in her team. "Crix and I will work on focusing the energy. If we can harness even a fraction of the planet's power, we might be able to buy ourselves some time." As they scrambled to prepare, Ava couldn't help but marvel at the situation. Here they were, a handful of scientists and an alien refugee, about to take on the might of Earth's military using technology they barely understood. It was either brilliantly daring or spectacularly foolish, possibly both. Hours later, as the Earth ships moved into attack position, Ava stood beside Crix in the hastily modified engine room. Cables and makeshift conduits snaked across the floor, connecting their cobbled-together device to the station's main systems. "Are you sure about this?" Ava asked, looking at Crix. "Once we start, there's no telling what might happen to the station, or to us." Crix's feathers rippled in a pattern Ava now recognized as determination. Must try. For future. For understanding. Ava took a deep breath and nodded. "All right then, let's rewrite some evolutionary history." She activated the device, and immediately the station hummed with power. Through the viewports, Ava could see tendrils of energy, similar to those that had transformed the alien ship, beginning to coalesce around Celestia. Admiral Vance's voice crackled over the comms, filled with a mixture of awe and fury. "What have you done, Reeves? Stand down immediately." But it was too late. The energy field expanded rapidly, engulfing not just the station, but the Earth ships as well. Ava watched in astonishment as the sleek military vessels began to transform, their hulls rippling and reshaping into more organic, fluid forms. "It's working," Marcus shouted over the comms. "Their weapon systems are offline. They're completely disoriented." Ava turned to Crix, ready to celebrate their success, but stopped short. The alien was glowing brighter than ever, their forms seeming to shimmer and shift. "Crix, are you all right?" Crix looked at her with all 3 eyes, their gaze filled with an ancient wisdom. When they spoke, their voice seemed to echo with the power of eons. "Change comes, for all, ready or not." Before Ava could respond, a blinding light filled the station. She felt a strange sensation, as if every cell in her body was being unmade and remade in rapid succession. The last thing she saw before losing consciousness was Crix reaching out to her, their form blurring into pure energy. As darkness claimed her, Ava's last coherent thought was a mixture of fear and exhilaration. Whatever happened next, she knew that the universe, and humanity's place in it, would never be the same. Ava awoke to a world transformed. The sterile metallic interior of Celestia Station had given way to organic, pulsating structures that seemed alive with bioluminescent energy. She blinked, trying to focus, and realized with a start that her vision had changed. She could perceive spectrums of light she'd never seen before, and the world around her seemed to shimmer with information. "Crix," she called out, her voice sounding strange to her own ears. "Marcus, Sasha." A familiar trill answered her, and Crix appeared, or rather, flowed, into view. The alien's form was now even more fluid, shifting between solid and energy states with ease. "Ava," Crix said, their voice resonating on multiple frequencies. "You awake. Good." Ava looked down at her hands, noticing the fascination that her skin now shimmered with the same bioluminescence as Crix. "What happened to us, to the station?" "Evolution," Crix explained. "Planet energy, changed all. Adapted, improved." As Ava's mind struggled to comprehend the magnitude of the change, Marcus and Sasha entered the room. Like her, they had been transformed, their bodies now a blend of human and something distinctly alien. "This is incredible," Marcus said, his eyes wide with wonder. "I can perceive gravitational fields now. It's like I can see the fabric of space-time itself." Sasha nodded, equally amazed. "And I can interface directly with the station's systems. It's not just technology anymore. It's alive, and we're part of it." Ava's scientific mind raced with the implications. "We've been evolved," she breathed. "The planet's energy didn't just change our forms, it's enhanced our abilities, our very perception of reality." Crix trilled in agreement. "Yes, now you understand. Why my people feared, why others wanted to control." A sobering thought struck Ava. The Earth ships, what happened to them? As if in response to her question, a holographic display materialized in the air before them, showing the space around the station. The Earth ships were there, but like Celestia, they had been transformed into organic, living vessels. A transmission crackled through the air, and Admiral Vance's face appeared, but it was a Vance changed by the same forces that had affected them all. His eyes shimmered with newfound awareness, and his expression was one of awe rather than anger. "Dr. Reeves," he said, his voice trembling with emotion. We were so wrong. We can see now. The interconnectedness of all things, the true nature of life and evolution. It's beautiful." Ava felt a wave of relief wash over her. The threat of conflict had passed, replaced by a shared sense of wonder and discovery. But even as she celebrated this turn of events, a new concern nagged at her. "Crix," she said, turning to her alien friend, "you said your people feared this. Why? This seems like a gift, not a curse." Crix's form rippled with what Ava now recognized as sadness. Gift and curse. Great power. Great responsibility. Some used for good. Others for control. For domination. Understanding dawned on Ava. With this level of evolutionary control, a malevolent force could reshape entire species, even planets, to their will. The power to elevate could just as easily be used to subjugate. "So what do we do now?" Sasha asked, voicing the question on everyone's mind. Ava straightened, feeling the weight of responsibility settling on her shoulders. "We learn," she said firmly. "We study this gift we've been given, understand its potential and its dangers, and then we share that knowledge, not just with Earth, but with Crix's people and any other species out there grappling with this power." Marcus nodded in agreement. "We could form an alliance. A coalition of species dedicated to understanding and responsibly managing evolutionary energy. The Galactic Evolutionary Council," Sasha suggested, a smile playing on her lips. Crix's form brightened with approval. "Yes, bring together, share wisdom, protect life. As they discussed their plans, Ava couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. What had started as a chance encounter with an injured alien had blossomed into the dawn of a new era for multiple species. But even as hope and excitement filled her, Ava knew that challenges lay ahead. Not everyone would welcome this change. There would be those who feared it, others who would seek to exploit it. Their fledgling alliance would face trials that would test not just their new abilities, but the very core of their beliefs and values. Looking out at the transformed ships and the living planet below, Ava steeled herself for the journey ahead. They stood at the threshold of a new chapter in cosmic history, and she was determined to ensure it was a chapter filled with discovery, cooperation, and a responsible shepherding of life's most fundamental forces. With Crix at her side and her transformed colleagues around her, Ava took a deep breath. The next stage of their adventure, and perhaps the next stage of galactic evolution, was about to begin. Months had passed since the transformation of Celestia Station and its crew. The Galactic Evolutionary Council, once just an idea born in the aftermath of crisis, had become a reality. Representatives from Earth, Crix's homeworld, and a handful of other species affected by the evolutionary energy had gathered on the transformed station, now a living hub of interstellar cooperation and research. Ava stood before the assembled council, her bioluminescent skin pulsing with a mix of excitement and nervousness. Our latest findings suggest that the evolutionary energy is not confined to our sector of the galaxy, she explained, gesturing to a holographic map hovering above the council table. We've detected similar energy signatures in distant star systems, some of which show signs of advanced civilizations. Murmurs rippled through the assembled delegates. Admiral Vance, now Earth's representative to the council, leaned forward. Are you suggesting that this evolutionary force is a natural part of cosmic development? Crix, floating beside Ava in their energy form, chimed in. Yes, universe alive, evolving. We part of greater whole. The implications were staggering. The council chamber buzzed with excited discussion, but Ava noticed a few delegates exchanging worried glances. Not everyone was comfortable with the idea of being part of some grand, cosmic evolutionary plan. Just as the discussion was heating up, alarms blared throughout the station. Marcus's voice, tinged with urgency, came over the comms. Ava, we've got a situation. Multiple ships just dropped out of FTL. They're like nothing we've ever seen before. Ava rushed to the observation deck, the council delegates close behind. What she saw took her breath away. A fleet of massive ships hung in space, their designs a mind-bending blend of technology and organic matter far beyond even their own evolved vessels. A transmission crackled through, and a figure appeared on the main view screen. It was vaguely humanoid, but shimmered and shifted between various forms, as if struggling to maintain a single shape. When it spoke, its voice resonated on multiple levels, both audible and telepathic. We are the Ascended, the being announced. We have long watched the development of life in this galaxy. Your recent evolutionary leap has drawn our attention. We are here to guide you to the next stage of cosmic evolution, or to prevent your interference if you prove unworthy. Ava felt a chill run down her spine. Here was a species that had mastered the evolutionary energy to a degree they could scarcely imagine. But their words carried an ominous tone. We mean no harm, she said, stepping forward. We're simply trying to understand and responsibly manage this new phase of our existence. The Ascended being's form rippled. Understanding is good, but some races we've encountered have used this knowledge for conquest and subjugation. We cannot allow that to happen again. Admiral Vance moved to stand beside Ava. We've formed a council, representatives from multiple species, to ensure that very thing doesn't happen. We want to learn to grow, but not at the expense of others. For a long moment, the Ascended being was silent, its form shifting rapidly as if in deep thought. Then, to everyone's surprise, it began to laugh, a sound that echoed through both space and mind. Oh, little ones, it said, its tone now warm with amusement. You have no idea how long we've waited for a group of species, to react this way. So many times we've seen the gift of evolution lead to war and destruction. But you chose cooperation, understanding, responsible stewardship. The tension in the room began to ease, replaced by a cautious optimism. Eva dared to hope. Does this mean you approve? The ascended being's form stabilized, taking on an appearance that seemed to blend aspects of all the council's species. More than approve, we wish to join your council, to share our knowledge and help guide you through the challenges ahead. The path of cosmic evolution is long and fraught with danger, but together we can navigate it. A wave of joy and relief washed over Ava. She looked around at her fellow council members, humans, aliens, and now these ascended beings, all united in their quest for knowledge and harmonious growth. Crix floated closer, that energy form pulsing with excitement. New chapter begins, for all life. Ava nodded, a smile spreading across her face. Indeed it does, my friend. As the council erupted into excited discussion and plans for integrating their new ascended allies, Ava took a moment to reflect. From a chance encounter with an injured alien to the brink of a new era of galactic cooperation and evolution, it had been an incredible journey. She knew that challenges lay ahead. There would be other species to contact, ethical dilemmas to navigate, and the ever-present risk of those who might abuse the power of evolutionary energy. But looking at the diverse group of beings around her, all working together towards a common goal, Ava felt a surge of hope. This was humanity at its best, curious, adaptable, and capable of reaching across the stars to forge bonds of friendship and understanding. Whatever the cosmic evolutionary plan had in store for them, Ava was certain of one thing: they would face it together as a united galaxy. As the station hummed with renewed energy and purpose, Ava turned her gaze to the star-filled vista beyond. The universe stretched out before them, vast and mysterious, filled with untold wonders and possibilities, and they were ready to explore it all, one evolutionary step at a time.